Have Owen, Tom, Jarrah and Sean. Howdy guys, how you doing? Good, that's good to hear. Now, when I went to school, we had to wait till we went to high school before we could learn a language. I was just hanging out because I loved literature and books and reading, and I was heaps good at spelling. So I was one of these people who really wanted to learn another language, and I had to wait till I was in year 8. These days we start them at about reception with some learning languages. I remember I was a German teacher at Williamstown, and I remember one memorable day I was walking a little reception class down from their room to the German room to have German. We're halfway down and this little girl is crying. She is hysterical. So we stopped, like, you know, they've got the 2 lines, or stop the line, what's the matter? I don't know what German is, she's saying, and my mother won't know where I am. And she was just distraught. So we had to really, so I had to just give a little lesson there and then on everything. So poor little thing. So I'm just wondering, how old were you guys when you first started to learn Japanese? And can you remember how you felt when you had your first lesson, or is that too long ago? Who would like to have a go at answering that question? Tom?
I was 9 in year 4 when I started to learn Japanese. I remember I felt a bit numb in the stomach and a bit sick in my first lesson. I found the language a bit hard to learn at the start, but once I knew it, I learned it quicker. Before studying Japanese at Sandy Creek Primary School, I did German at Williamstown Primary.
Oh, my goodness me. Did you have me as a teacher?
Yeah.
Far out, Tom. I don't even remember you. You've grown. How old were you then?
Probably about... I'm not too sure.
You're not too
7,
sure?
probably.
Yeah, so you've just changed so much. What year level are you in now, Tom?
7.
You're in year... Yeah, well, no wonder. All right. Jarrah, how about you? What are your experiences of learning Japanese?
I was 4.5 years of age when I started to learn Japanese, and I remember feeling a bit nervous about getting a question wrong. It wasn't too long before my memory of Japanese words improved, but I found things a little hard because it was a completely different language to English.
You're not wrong there. I'm learning Chinese at the moment, and I had about 4 lessons, then missed 3, and then went back last night, and oh boy, have I missed out and way behind. I know what you're talking about when you say about scared of saying something wrong, because do you have to learn the writing as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are doing this in Chinese, and I mean, we spent about the first 3 weeks just learning the names of the different strokes, what they are, before we even learn what it all means when you put it together, and you have to do it in a special order. And last night at the lesson he asked me to come out and do one on the board to get the order. I had that feeling in my stomach, and I'm 60 years old. Oh, it was terrible. Okay, Sean, what about you?
I was 7 when I started learning Japanese, and I felt self-conscious in my first lesson. It was easier to learn back then. I haven't studied any other language in another school.
All right, so you're just a Japanese guy. What do you mean it was easier to learn back then? Did they do more fun things in the little
they did.
years, did they? And you found that easier? You're a hands-on person? All right, and Owen?
I was 4.5 when I began learning Japanese in a Montessori school. It was hard at first, but with practice it gets easier.
Where was the Montessori school?
Roseworthy or something.
All right, okay. What aspects are covered in the course? Like we already touched on scripts, culture, food, speaking the language. What sort of things do you do, Tom?
We learn to speak Japanese language and how to read it and write it, which is really difficult. But we also learn a lot about Japan and its culture. So we try origami and crafts and try eating Japanese foods. Most kids really like seaweed and sushi.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I find it hard to believe, actually. All right, anybody else? That was just that one question? You were just answering for that one? Is that the... How long have you been... okay. How long has Japanese been taught at Sandy Creek, and how many exchanges have there been in that time?
Japanese has been taught at Sandy Creek Primary School for 16 years. There have been 5 exchanges in Minamiaiki School in that time. Minamiaiki has visited us for 10 years now. We cut a special 10th anniversary cake at this welcome assembly this year.
Was it chocolate cake?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there, you missed out. Bad luck. All right, now I asked those questions in wrong order. Have I done it all right now? That's it, you guys. Is that your finish of your batch? Okay, well, thank you very much, Tom, Jarrah, Sean and Owen. You can go. Thank you. They were good answers, well thought out answers. We'll have the next lot in a minute.
Now released, Barossa Estate, a new style of development by Hickenbotham, a family-owned company since 1954. Set on prime land off Research Road near Upa, architect-designed homes have been specifically created to reflect the style and character of this unique region. Call in and see me, Patrick, or Martina at Barossa Estate, open weekends from 1 to 5, to secure your dream home at the ultimate Barossa address. With over 100 designs to choose from, there's a home to suit every taste, lifestyle and budget. Hickenbotham, offering South Australia's best value homes, as station sponsor. See South Australia's largest builder, Hickenbotham, at Langmole Estate, Tanunda, and now at Reid Beckwith Boulevard, Nurupta.
Station sponsor Great Southern Irrigation are the irrigation experts in the Barossa. With water an all-important commodity, they can advise on and supply a full range of PVC and poly pipes and fittings, plus household and commercial pumps, fertiliser injectors and much more. With over-the-counter sales available at the depot on Greenock Road, Greenock, why not choose the people who can compete with price, service and reliability? Great Southern Irrigation, your irrigation experts.
Okay, let's hear about some of these Japanese lessons. We've got Alyssa, Kane, Brendan and Caitlin in here to take us through this one. Are there any special tricks to remembering the Japanese words, and what activities do you do to help you learn them? Alyssa.
There are some special tricks to remember Japanese. Every letter has a U, I, U, S, O sound. We have lots of practice saying sentences, and Mrs. Mack uses flashcards. She is a great teacher and tries to make things as simple as possible.
She is a great teacher. I have met Mrs. Mack and she is excellent. Brendan.
Japanese writing called hiragana is easy to read because you can make pictures out of each letter of the alphabet. For example, a cat is called a neko, and the letter in Japanese is ni. Looks like a cat by the fire. The listening test helps me a lot.
The listening test? What's the listening test?
It's a test about when Mrs. McMaster, our Japanese teacher, tries to help us a lot with Japanese, and we have to write down all sorts of Japanese writing.
So what, she says something and you have to write down what you hear?
Yes.
That sounds hard. That sounds hard. What is your favourite activity in Japanese, Kane?
My favourite activity in Japanese is a game called Gel because it's fun. Mrs. Max says a word in Japanese and we have to guess it in English or vice versa. I also like playing Jankan Pon. What we do is run around the tennis court until we meet up. We have a round of Jankan Pon and the winner keeps on running. The loser goes to the end of the line.
And what happens in jail?
What you do is if you guess the word right,
yeah,
you can put someone in jail or take someone out, and if you guess it wrong, you get put in jail.
Okay, that sounds fun. And what is Jankan Pon? You said we have a round of Jankan Pon. Can you explain that, Caitlin? She's just really okay, Kane, keep going.
So, you put your hand in the fist and you say Jankan Pon, and then you put out 2 fingers to make scissors, a flat hand to make paper, or a fist to make rock.
So it's like rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
And it's called Jankan Pon. That's fun. That sounds good. And you play that.
Mm.
And the winner keeps on running.
Yep.
The loser goes to the end of the line. All right, Caitlin.
In Japanese lessons, I enjoy doing calligraphy. It is very messy and you have to be very careful. I also like origami, papercraft and tasting Japanese food. We use chopsticks. We also learn Japanese songs. Me and my Iki children practice singing every day. We will now listen to the year 5-6 class of 2004 sing a song called The Old Friend.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think that is this one here. That was a Japanese song. That was called Our Old Friend, I think. My One Old Friend by Mimani Aiki. That was Year 5-6 class 2004. You're listening to Triple B FM. This is community radio at its most exciting. We are talking with children from the Sandy Creek Primary School. I'm Marilyn Simpson in the zone. It's almost 2 o'clock. We've got Charlie, Catherine, Gillian and Emily here, and I recognise Gillian. She hasn't changed as much as Tom. So she used to learn some German down at Williamstown as well. When I was at Williamstown, I remember Mrs. Fat Mac visiting with a group who played the drums. Does she still teach you how to do this, Charlie?
Mrs. Mac still does teach us taiko, which is a Japanese name for the drums.
And when do you learn this?
We have lessons on Tuesday lunchtimes every week.
And what skills do you need to do this, Catherine?
Taiko doesn't need much skill to perform. All we need is a good memory, strong arms to be able to keep a beat and to know your left from right.
All right. Do you have to have write an L on your left hand and an R on your right hand? No, you don't. I was at a bush dance once and there was this older couple who had a bit too much to drink. And they could not do the simplest of things. And in the end, the guy who was doing the calling, he called them up to the front, in front of everybody. He had a texter, and he grabbed their arms, and he wrote an L and an R on their wrists so that they would know which way to go. Well, I'm glad that Mrs. Mac hasn't had to resort to do that. Do you have to be good at Japanese to do this activity, Gillian?
Anyone can do taiko drums, even if they don't learn Japanese. Some words are said during the performance, but not many.
Uh-huh. And do you visit other schools demonstrating the drums?
In the past, we visited other schools and also performed at a Children's Day festival in Adelaide and a Japanese teachers' conference. Later this year, we will visit Williamstown Primary School.
Wow, Charlie, where did you go for the Japanese teachers' conference?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there, so you don't remember where it was. All right. Can you describe a routine, Emily?
A normal warm-up we do is put both sticks in the air, then bring down the right stick to the drum and back up again, while springing down the left stick. Gradually get faster and faster and softer until it's so soft and so fast that you stop.
My goodness me, you keep going until you stop. That sounds exciting. Do you have a CD of this?
We don't have a CD of our group, but Mrs. Mac has some taiko music we can hear today. It is called Tokinoko, or The Voice of Tim.
All right, so that one we're going to try this on the CD thing that's being naughty today, so we'll see how we go. Have we got the right track, number 7? Yep. All right, Japanese drums. I bet you thought only Africa had drums. That was some Japanese drums. That was very, very exciting, and that's what the children at Sandy Creek Primary School learn to do in their lunch hour. Actually, it's very, very dramatic because they sort of move around from drum. They have the drums all set up, and they're drums that have actually been made. It's all quite amazing, and it's a real performance playing the drums as they do. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the exchange now that you're having. We've got Megan, Will, Tim, Kelly and Ben, and I recognise Will from days gone by this time. How many children came on the exchange, Ben?
15 Year 6 Japanese students came from Minami Aiki from Wednesday, August the 2nd to Monday, August the 7th. There were also 5 adults, the school principal, 2 class teachers and 2 members of the Board of Education.
Oh, wow, the bigwigs. Did you have any of you have a Japanese child stay at your house? How about you, Tim?
Well, actually, 9 host families billeted the Japanese students at Sandy Creek, and 6 from Rosedale. I had a girl called Momoko stay with me.
How did your guest manage the language, and was it difficult to know what he or she wanted? Tim?
Well, basically, when talking to Japanese people, try to use as much Japanese as possible. But when you do have to resort to speaking in English, the tricks are to speak slowly and clearly. Whenever there is an L or an R, fuse the 2 together and remember to leave out superfluous words like the and end.
Yeah, is that because they don't have the in their language? They don't say the... I'm talking to Tim. Can you just answer that first?
Oh, yeah, it is. Because if they're... I mean, they've got an R line, but when they say one of their ones, it's like la. So sort of both.
Yeah. So they wouldn't say the cat. They just say cat. If they're talking in a sentence, they say cat is hungry. They wouldn't say the cat is hungry. They say...
probably point at the cat.
Cat. All right. Megan, how did you go?
I had a girl called Sayori stay at our house. Sayori didn't speak much at all and she was really quiet. Mum and I became very good at charades and we played lots of games. Sayori was always one's twister and was really good at catching things like frisbees and tennis balls.
Oh, okay, so you did a lot of active things with her. Will, how about you?
My homestay, Tetsuya, found it pretty hard to communicate with us. We made up a kind of sign language that used hands, facial expressions that worked. Some kids used a Google language site on their computers to communicate, and some used translators.
Oh, really? So they went to their internet on the computer, and
I've done that once.
Yeah, and what you typed in the English, and then it came out in Japanese. Is that the sort of thing that you do?
It's the kind of thing.
No, oh, that's interesting. What sort of things did you do with your guests, Kelly?
We went water skiing and camping with our homestay Marco. When Marco fell off the kneeboard into the River Murray, she started to swim. She started swimming like mad because she thought the bunyip might get her.
Oh, poor Marco. Who told her horror stories about the bunyip?
Well, we were learning at it. It's in school, right? And
yeah.
So,
so that was a speed swim for Marco. Ben, how about you?
Eri, my homestay, was a bit shy at first, but she was very smart. She was a very funny character and played with her Japanese toys a lot, teaching us how to use them.
Will?
We went to Glenorg Beach with my homestay, Tetsuya, because he'd never been to the beach before. Minami is in Nagano Prefecture, which is over 100 kilometres away from the sea. He loved running in and out of the water, and we also went to the Big Rocking Horse and Melba's Chocolate Factory.
That is sort of amazing, isn't it? He lived 100k from the sea, and that was too far to travel to go to the sea. It just seems a bit strange, don't you reckon? It's not 100 kilometres, wouldn't be that far for us to go to the sea. I noticed that when we were up at Surfers Paradise, there are lots of Japanese come up there, and you see them standing in the water, having their photos taken and squealing and having a great time. Everybody else is just sitting on the beach because it's actually too cold to get into the water, but obviously it's a big thing for them to get to the beach. All right, what are we up to now? I'm lost. Tim?
My homestay in Morocco liked to play on the trampoline a lot at our house. On the weekend we went bowling in Elizabeth with some other families with homestays.
We also went to a bonfire with another of the Sandy Creek family's homes. The Japanese kids really enjoyed playing with glow sticks and sparklers.
Did they? Is that a new thing to them?
No, not really actually, because when I went over to Japan last time,
Yeah.
they actually make a fireworks display for most of the kids.
Yeah, so you would think that the little sparkler would not be that big a deal, would you?
Yeah, but the glow sticks were pretty cool.
Yeah. How old are you, Tim?
I'm 12.
And you've already had a trip to Japan.
Yeah, that was in 2004.
Do you know how lucky you are?
Yes.
I'm good, glad about that. Megan.
We took Sayori to watch sheep shearing. She was really fascinated how quickly the shearer could get the wool off. We also went to the Whispering Wall. Sayori just couldn't figure out how we could talk so softly and yet be heard so clearly at the other end. We also went shopping in Rundle Mall. After our McDonald's Happy Meal lunch, she folded up the box and took it back to Japan with her as a memento. So it was really, really good at folding her things and keeping neat.
Yeah, because they do the origami stuff, don't they? Maybe they're sort of born like that. Who knows? Did your guest enjoy Australian food, Will?
My homestead loved hamburgers and sausages. In Japan, they don't eat a lot of red meat. At the bonfire area, Kang's dad cooked kangaroo on the barbecue, and the Japanese homesteaders loved it.
Did they really? Megan?
Sayori loved pasta. She couldn't eat enough lasagna. She loved to try new foods and kept on asking for strawberries for recess. She really didn't like Vegemite.
Didn't she? No, they say it's an acquired taste. I think you have to start having Vegemite from a very young age to really like it. How do you feel about going to Japan and staying with a Japanese family for a week? Kelly?
I'm so excited about going to Japan in October. Holidays for 10 days. 14 of us, 9 from Sandy Creek, 5 from Rosedale, plus 7 adults are going. I'm staying with Kana, Marco's friend.
Uh-huh. So does Mrs. Mac teach out at Rosedale as well?
Yeah, Mrs. Kurtz as well. She
does Rosedale as well.
Swap.
Uh-huh. I'm beginning to get it. Ben, what about you?
I am really looking forward to going overseas for the first time. I'll see new places and try new things.
And Tim?
Oh, well, as I said a bit earlier, I went to Japan with the school in 2004.
Yep.
It's a really fun trip with lots of excitement. The Japanese people are heaps friendly and try their hardest to make you feel at home. And I really can't wait to go again in October. At our cultural performance in Japan, we'll sing a song to the School of Minamaiki called Raining on the Rock. Here's a CD of the song right now.
Okay, Raining on the Rock, and I reckon I've got that one down here. Let's just see. If it's not Raining on the Rock, we're in trouble. Is that it? You're on Triple B FM 89.1, a community radio station in the Barossa. I'm Marilyn Simpson in the zone. In the zone today is a school zone. It's a Sandy Creek Primary School zone. We have children from the Sandy Creek Primary School here with us talking about their exciting Japanese program, in particular their exchange with Japanese school children. We've got Rory, Jackie, Brooke, Sam and Jacob here with us for this little section. It must have been different having all these visitors in the school. Did you have your normal school program or was it all different, Jackie?
When our visitors from Minamiaiki arrived, our school program changed a lot. On Wednesday the 2nd of August we had a welcome assembly. Thursday was a school day, Friday was an excursion day, and on Monday the 7th of August we had a farewell assembly after travelling to Angaston to meet the mayor.
That sounds like a pretty full week. What sort of things did you do?
At our school day on the Thursday, we had an Australian rules football lesson first up. Stuart Cochran and Chad Obst from the Central Districts Football Club came to Sandy Creek Primary School to show the Japanese kids some football skills. We used tackling back and specky back and did some kicking and marking. It was a good session.
I reckon. Do you reckon that they'd be signing any of them up?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
Did they enjoy it? How did they go with the footy?
Oh,
This is Rory speaking, by the way.
They thought it was really fun.
They did? Did girls do it as well?
Yeah, everyone did it.
And the girls got into it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Jacob?
Well, after that, the Japanese students went into the junior primary class to hear a story about a bunyip.
Uh-huh.
It was translated by Mrs. Mack and shown on the whiteboard. Miss Sainty organised the students to make bunyips out of boxes, clay or plasticine. She gave Minamiaiki School a big cuddly bunyip that she'd made to take back home with them.
All right, now I see why that little girl that was in the Murray swam like mad. Sam?
Mrs. Walkup, our middle primary teacher, did some drama with the Japanese students. They played drama games with the bunyip theme.
Were you involved in that, Sam?
No.
You weren't. So was anyone here involved in that? No, okay. Brooke?
In the afternoon, our Japanese students presented a cultural performance. They demonstrated a toy called a kondema, played flutes called fu, performed a play, danced an amazing routine to Sorambushi, and sang songs. To the delight of the audience, they sang Waltzing Matilda, complete with all verses in English.
All right. I'm interested in the toy called a kendama. What is a kendama?
It's sort of like a clacker thing
yeah.
from Japan. Don't really know, but yeah.
So like it's a traditional Japanese wooden toy, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. They played flutes called fu. They performed a play. Was the play in Japanese language?
No.
No? In English, or was it like a miming play? As anyone can tell if...
I think it was in English. Don't know. Yeah, it's in English.
Okay, can you remember what the play was about?
No, because it was a bit too long ago.
A bit too long ago for you to remember? Okay. And they sang Waltzing Matilda in English. That must have been pretty good. Are you right there, Jackie?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Sam?
On Friday, the year 5, 6, 7s from Rosedale and Sandy Creek travelled in a bus to Cuddly Creek Wildlife Park with our friends. In the afternoon, we visited the National Motor Museum at Birdwood. On Friday night, we had a barbecue at Curdnada Park Oval, followed by a bush dance in the hall. It was great fun.
Oh, yeah. What was the best thing about the bush dance?
Don't know.
You don't know? The whole thing was fun, was it? Did everyone dress... How did they dress up? They dress pretty much like we dress, don't they? Japanese, like... Yeah. Did they have their traditional costumes for any of the plays or anything like that?
Yeah, they had one for the dance.
Yeah? Jacob, what do you remember?
Well, I remember one of the dances, they had these blue dress things on.
All right. Which activities were the most successful, do you think, Brooke?
I think Cuddly Creek was the best. The Japanese students really enjoyed patting a kangaroo, and they definitely loved holding a koala. We go to Cuddly Creek every year during the visit. It's great walking around the park, feeding animals, getting up close and personal with many of them.
Did any of them ask to see the bunyip?
No, don't think so, because I didn't have a homestay.
Oh, okay. You had to borrow, did you? All right, Jackie.
Another big highlight of the visit was the bush dance. The band Diddy Choir come every year to provide music and fun. Kids and adults all took part, and it was a very energetic night. There were a lot of red faces and lots of smiles. Our Japanese guests loved it.
Okay, what, the red faces were from all the exhausting dancing, was it?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Now, would you like to go to school in Japan, Rory?
Yes, I would, because it would be a great experience comparing Japanese schools to Australian schools.
Yeah, have you got any thoughts, Rory, on what it might be like?
Well,
have you seen videos or anything?
Oh, no. But for starters, they wouldn't use... the second language would be Australian, not Japanese, so yeah, so it would be a bit different.
It would be. You would be sitting there hanging on to every word and wondering what was happening next, I should think. So when you go, there'll be a group of you, though. You won't be the only Australian there in a class, will you?
Oh, there'll be 15 of us.
Yeah. Anybody else like to answer that question? I know that you haven't all necessarily prepared it. Jackie, how do you feel about going to the Japanese school?
I'd like to, because they've got cool playgrounds, which now are, like in Australia, are unsafe. So it'd be, and you have to like clean the school yourself and stuff, so that'd probably be different.
That would certainly be different. Yeah, I've heard that. Do they clean the school at the beginning of the day or end of the day? Do you know?
I'm not actually sure about that.
I'm not sure whether they do it before they start or whether they do it before they go home. Sam, what happens?
I think when they clean up, it's like halfway through the end of the day, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? Would you like to be involved in that, Sam? Be part of the cleaning program of your school? I know when I was a kid, I would have been a dead loss, absolutely. I'm even real keen on cleaning now, let alone when I was a kid.
Well, would be sort of different.
Yeah. Are any of you other children actually going to Japan? So you are?
So is Rory.
So the two boys are, yeah. Yeah, so Sam, what are you looking forward to most about being in Japan?
Like, I don't know.
Just the whole experience of being there, you think would be fun?
Yeah.
All right, so that just about winds up all the questions. Does anybody like to tell me anything that we've forgotten or left out, or something you wanted to say? They're all just shaking their heads at me. It's almost 2 on Triple B FM in the Zone with Marilyn Simpson. We've been talking with children from the Sandy Creek Primary School, mainly about their Japanese lessons and the exchange program that they've just had. You're getting very hot in here, are you? I put the window down because it's very confusing when people walk past and talk, and all of a sudden I think, you sort of freak out because you think that you're playing something wrong, or you don't. Yeah, it's really so I just put up with it. So yeah, sorry, I'm one of these people who don't mind sweltering. It has been fun talking to you guys. I am really jealous about how young you are, and some of you are actually going to Japan and having that experience of an exchange. I mean, normally you have to wait till you're about in year 12 at high school before you get to do these things, and you guys get to do it in primary school. I would have to say that when I was 12, I would have been terrified about going to stay with a family that didn't speak English and didn't eat lamb chops, mashed potato with gravy, peas and carrots every night. I would have been really freaking out about it. It just seems so, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a new experience. More power to you. I think that is just absolutely wonderful. We've got news and weather coming up at past, so we'll be back soon with some more.